Hey there, chatters! If you want to listen to this bonus episode in full, head on over to patreon.com/CrimeChat with Nat and Kat to subscribe. Only our VIP chatters and patrons can listen to all bonus episodes in full. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the sneak peek.
Hey there, chatters. I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I am your forensic femme fatale. Natalie is your true crime connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls who obsess about dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
And here is your disclaimer, chatters. Today's Crime Chat contains adult content and descriptions of folklore, violent death, and all the unknown. So your listener discretion is advised.
You've been warned. And before we get into today's Crime Chat, Kat, what have you done?
I am healing, doing well.
Good.
I'm getting there, getting back to the cat. I was telling you that we were watching How I Met Your Mother, so we completely finished all of that. And I've seen the whole thing before, but I don't know, I didn't remember any of it. Like, I didn't remember the ending, but it's so good. It's really good. And then we've been watching Yellow Jackets because season 3, I think it is, had come out. And there's only a couple episodes left, I believe, in the season. I've read a lot of, it's not as good as the first season. It's kind of misleading. They're killing off like all of these major characters.
Really?
So yeah, but I think it's good.
Okay.
I like it. I'm easy to please. So we watched The Last of Us. Chris watched it with me. I watched it again because on April 13th, season 2 of The Last of Us comes out, and I was going to watch it again.
Right.
I was like, I need a refresh of like all the things that happened.
Have you ever played the game?
No.
Oh, it's good. It's
Is it good?
Yeah, well, the show, is based on the game. The game came out.
Right.
And they got the characters, they nailed them. I mean, he literally looks like the guy from the game. She looks like the girl from they look so similar. So if you went through 200 hours to get through that game, you are emotionally invested with these people. So when you see them in real life, it's super exciting.
Yeah, like it comes to life.
It does, yeah.
That's about it. What about you?
Watching wise, not much. I did get my hair done. She did mess it up.
No.
Yes, she did. And it's really bothering me because, listen, you know that I'm in the transformation stages of a balayage. If you know what that is. It is a process. It's something that you can't do in one visit. You have to break it up. Yeah. Not to mention my hair color is very dark brown. So it takes a while. The last visit was my 4th visit. Right now, I should be 4 shades lighter. Really? But she used the wrong color toner. So all of those highlights I got for the last 4.5 months got neutralized completely, and I'm back to my normal color.
Your highlights turned to low lights.
Turned to nothing. They turned to dirt, like dirt color. And she let me walk out. And I went back 2 days. I'm like, you need to fix this. I mean, first of all, what? Like, really? So I've been using like clarifying shampoo but so that's what I was dealing with. And then let's see what else I've done. We celebrated St. Patrick's Day. I made the brisket, and I call it brisket.
Well, it is a corned beef brisket.
Yeah, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
I noticed that on Netflix, they have a new movie with your girl, Bon Jovi, Electric State.
Yes, Millie Bobby Brown.
I'm going to wait for you to watch it first because it's the last time I watched her movie.
Chris Pratt is in it too, right?
Love him. I think he's great. But the last movie I saw her in, I was like really disappointed. I'm like, I don't want to be disappointed again. So I'm like, I'm not going to watch it until I know somebody who watched it.
Damsel. That was the one you're talking about, right? Damsel.
With the dragon.
Yeah.
So I was, but you know what? Okay. Maybe I'm being unfair. It wasn't necessarily her. I think it was just the story that I felt could have been better told. Like, I don't know. I'm very Game of Thronesy. So like certain things matter.
The story is also a reflection of the actor. Like sometimes the actor makes the story. Sometimes the story is just not good enough for the actor to do it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that she's not good because I think she's great.
I think she's great. So I'm going to wait for you to see it first. Okay. But that's about it. That's all I did.
Well, we have a bonus episode today, chatters. Our season 4 series is Into the Unknown. All the mysterious, unknown, supernatural. And today is just like that. Vampires and werewolves. But before we get into story, I have a quick crime chat update. last episode, Execution by Firing Squad, episode 124, I mentioned that Idaho had a statute pending the final signature to make the firing squad its official primary means of capital punishment in the state of Idaho. And I mentioned that there is one case that's expected to go to trial in August, and he could be, assuming the statute and everything goes through, he could be the first person convicted facing firing squad in Idaho. So currently, quadruple homicide suspect and former criminology graduate student Brian Kohberger is awaiting trial for later this year in Idaho. So official court filings were submitted, and in court filings, I think I mentioned last time there were some official suppression based on his autism that were all closed. This is something that's an addition that just came out where both the prosecution and defense had submitted filings to the court. Prosecution's documents indicate that Kohberger purchased a military-style knife, a sheath, and a knife sharpener from Amazon in the months leading up to the murders. The documents also include Kohberger doing a selfie the morning of November 13th, 2022, just hours after the murder. In this selfie, he was smiling at the camera and giving a thumbs up.
Oh.
Now, the defense did file a motion for the picture not to be part of the evidence because it could cause, quote, unfair prejudice on Kohberger from the jury.
Is evidence. That shows
exactly.
That shows his state of mind after it happened. Like, he was happy.
I mean, if the defense could use that as he is mental, see? Well, the defense's documents indicate there were phone records from the morning of the murders from two surviving roommates. What it showed was that these two roommates waited about 8 hours from the time they thought something was suspicious, texting on social media, doing other things, before they actually called 911. 8 hours. Now, text messages between the two revealed that they were talking back and forth saying, hey, I can't get a hold of them, WTF, that kind of thing. And it started around 4:22 in the morning. Now, investigators do believe that the four victims were killed between 4 and 4:25 in the morning on that November 13th. One survivor had texted the other at 4:22 saying she saw what looked like a masked man inside their house and said, quote, I'm freaking out.
Wow.
So she saw somebody inside 4:22 in the morning. They were killed between 4 and 4:25 in the morning. However, phone records from these two other roommates show that numerous texts, Snapchats, phone calls, DMs, web searches between that 4 something in the morning until they called 911 at 11:56 a.m.
Wow.
So that's interesting. Just another little nugget to add in there. They also in some of the text messages that were released, they were concerned, but if you think you saw somebody in the house, and it's not like they would have called 911 right away, that it would have changed anything because, they're probably already dead.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's borderline negligence, in a way.
The people that didn't call 911?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the likelihood that you are thinking that somebody could be brutally murdered like that? Or maybe that they got drunk and passed out. They're,
true.
They're at that age where maybe they got drunk. Maybe she's screwing her. Maybe she hooked up. Maybe she doesn't want to be bothered right now. I don't know.
It's true. I don't know, but it's common sense. That's just what gets me. It's you thought you saw somebody in the house.
Oh, well, yeah. That's a little, yeah. Once you see something shady like that, yeah.
Yeah. So Kohberger's trial is expected to begin in August. There was a not guilty plea also entered in on his behalf. So that's a real quick crime chat update. Super interesting.
Yeah. We should do that case. That's going to be good. Also, the episode before this, we re-released episode on
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. So
yes.
I don't know if you've been keeping up with some of the newly released documents on JFK, but there's some crazy, shocking revelations that I think is just sinking in for everybody. But, apparently not only do they have the documents, but they also have voice recordings of this dead person saying
another.
So I'm like, damn, now it makes sense, though, why our government wouldn't want this released.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but the documents were lost in a filing cabinet for 20, 30 years before it was discovered. Oh, shit, we probably shouldn't have these. It's an investigation of an assassinated president. Let's send it to the archives. So a lot of it didn't come out until the 90s when the movie JFK came out, and then all of this stuff started kind of building up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Before we released it, I was re-listening to it making sure that like they all kind of flowed together and everything like that between doing the first and the second part as one.
Right.
So I was re-listening to it, and that, and then with all the stuff that's coming out, it's just interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, that's another episode. We have to do an update on that. We definitely, because I'm still reading, going through the pages.
When I was listening to the episode before setting it out again, 11,000 plus documents. A lot of them are redacted. But
yeah, even though they're redacted, apparently AI can kind of pick up on the shadows of the redaction of the ink.
Would not predict the text.
No.
Like what it actually
yeah, I know. It's impressive. But whatever, it is what it is.
This AI, robots are going to take over. It's going to be Terminator. It's all over for us.
At least one of them can do hair, maybe, because I'm going to need somebody to do my hair.
Still waiting for flying cars.
God, still waiting. We're going to get there. I'm going to get into the true ancient origins of werewolves. I'm going to do a little history lesson, and then we're going to get into a case. So the word werewolf originates from Old English, combining two separate words, were meaning man and wolf meaning wolf, like a dog, literally translating to man-wolf. The term is used in folklore, legends for centuries in European mythology. We know werewolves are beings that shift from human to wolf, and this has captivated and frightened people for thousands of years. Their stories, rooted in mythology, folklore, and historical events, reflect humanity's deepest anxieties about losing control and embracing the darkest impulses. The earliest documented trial involving accusations of lycanthropy was Gilles Gardner in 1573 in France. Gardner, known as the Werewolf of Dole, was accused and executed for murdering and cannibalizing children. But today, we are gonna cover the most famous due to its brutal nature and extensive documentation. So we're not gonna go to the oldest one, because Gilles is the oldest one, the oldest known person that was executed. So here's the case that we're gonna go over. This is the full story of Peter Stump, born around 1535 near Bedburg, a small rural town in Germany. Over time, these whispers circulated and more people started to notice his behavior and unusual temper. But some would say he was a lonely widower and didn't really worry about him. But nobody suspected the true horror to come. By the mid-1560s, the peaceful town of Bedburg had a bunch of unexplainable disappearances and brutal murders. Victims, mostly women and children, were found mutilated, torn apart, and partially consumed.
So for my story, we are going to dig deep into another layer of folklore and fear, the truth behind so-called vampire autopsies. Have you heard of this?
I know, but it sounds creepy as fuck. I love it.
Vampirism forms a wave of interest, fear, and anxiety, which could be also said for werewolves, that dates back for centuries. The image of vampires varies from beautiful, mysterious, and sexual to distorted images of monstrosities and deviances. Historical and detailed autopsies of suspected vampires encompasses a very bizarre blend of science and superstition. The villagers believed that Peter Baglajevec,
nailed it,
Baglajevec, who had died 10 weeks earlier, was up and out of his grave, bringing death to their homes. The widow of Peter Baglajevec claimed that her husband knocked on her door after the funeral, demanded his shoes before attempting to strangle her. Picture this: winter, Rhode Island, 1892. A family cemetery was disturbed as an investigation on suspicion that the crypt was the home to a family of vampires. We've got some more bonus episodes coming up this season, so if there's anything of the unknown that you would like to hear, let us know.
Yes. Okay. Well, because we don't leave you hanging, chatters, for more information on this case, please check out After That Crime Chat. Only available on Patreon. You'll have access to bonus episodes, behind the scenes, bloopers, and free merch, and check out some merch in the works.
Be sure to check out our next episode, Natalie's story.
I'm not gonna tell you. It's always a surprise. Always. You don't want to miss it.
We'll see you next time, chatters.
Bye.